In this video, meron ako isi-share na tatlong simple valuation methods na natutunan ko sa Value Investing College. Pwede mong magamit agad any of these three valuation methods kasi napakasimple lang para ma-estimate mo ang entry price ng isang stock bago ka bumili. Importante ang valuation para malaman mo kung undervalued ba or overvalued ba ang isang stock bago ka bumili. When you buy an undervalued stock, you can buy more shares for the same investment amount. This can also lead to higher dividend yield kasi when the share price goes down, dividend yield goes up. Merong tatlong types of businesses kung saan pwede tayo mag-invest. Merong asset play, dividend play, and then meron ding mga growth stocks. An asset play runs its business based on valuable and tangible assets such as cash, land, properties, commodities, banks, REITs, gold, etc. Dividend play businesses prioritize returning cash to shareholders through regular dividends rather than reinvesting most of their profits into growth initiatives. These companies are typically stable and generate consistent profits, making them attractive to income-focused investors. Ang growth companies naman prioritize reinvesting their profits for future growth rather than distributing them as dividends. First valuation method is asset play. In asset play, the strategy is to buy when the stock is lower than its book value per share. Pag lower ang stock price sa kanyang book value per share, this indicates that the market is undervaluing the company's assets. Preferably, we should get at least 20% discount from its book value. Kaya ang conservative target sa price-to-book ratio ay 0.8. Pwedeng gamitin itong valuation method na ito sa banks, sa REITs, property, commodities, and businesses that use tangible assets to operate their business. Asset play valuation method ang pinaka-conservative among the three valuation methods. Example, Metro Bank. Kinuha ko ang latest book value sa PSE Financial Reports. Ang latest book value ng Metro Bank ay 84.52 at ang desired price to book ratio is 0.8. Calculate entry price by multiplying its book value, which is 84.52 times 0.8 equals 67.62. So, bibili ka ng Metro Bank sa price na 67.62 pesos and below. Next example is China Bank. Ang book value ng China Bank ay 60.4. So, i-multiply natin by 0.8. Ang entry price for China Bank ay 48.32 pesos. Another example is Robinson's Land. Bumagsak ang share price ng RLC. Buti na lang nabenta ko na yung RLC shares ko bago bumagsak ang share price. Ang book value is 30.78. I-multiply natin by 0.8. So, ang entry price ay 24.62 pesos. Sobrang undervalued ang RLC ngayon. Bumaba ang share price kasi bumaba ang earnings ng third quarter versus same period last year. Although higher pa rin naman ang current year-to-date earnings versus previous year-to-date earnings. Second valuation method is dividend play. Sa dividend play, you will buy great companies that give out consistent dividends at good rate of returns. Ginagamit ang dividend play valuation for stable companies with consistent dividends. At ang target dividend yield na gagamitin natin is 5% and higher. Less conservative ang dividend play versus asset play valuation. So ito ang kailangan data para makalculate ang entry price ng stock, annual dividend amount at dividend yield. Sa dividend yield, ang gagamitin natin ay 5% or higher. So use higher dividend yield if you want to be more conservative. Ang entry price ay annual dividend amount divided by dividend yield. Okay, so example dito ay Globe Telecom. Kinuha ko yung datang ito from investing.com. 5% dividend yield ang gagamitin natin to be conservative. Ang entry price ay 100 divided by 5% equals 2,000 pesos. So, bibili ka ng Globe pag na-hit ang price na 2,000 pesos and below. Dito naman tayo sa TEL. Higher ang dividend yield ngayon ng TEL kasi bumaba ang share price. We will use 7%. Ang entry price is 96 divided by 7% equals 1,371.43 pesos. You can buy TEL sa price na 1,371 pesos and below. Next example ay Meralco. Bumaba na ang dividend yield ng Meralco kasi tumaas na ang kanyang share price. We will use 5% na dividend yield sa ating computation to be more conservative. So, ang entry price ay 21.53 divided by 5%. Entry price is 430.6 pesos. Now, let's move on to the third valuation method, ang growth valuation. Ang strategy is buy great companies that can grow and buy them cheaper than their growth rate. Dalawang data ang kailangan, ang PE ratio, so makukuha mo ito sa MSN Money, at ang EPS growth rate. Yung growth rate, kailangan itong i-calculate. Ang growth valuation method, ang pinaka-less conservative among the three. Kasi sa growth stocks, investors are willing to pay more because they expect the stock to grow at a faster rate than the market. Ang growth valuation method na ito was popularized by Peter Lynch. Inintroduce niya ang PEG ratio as a way to assess whether a growth stock is fairly valued by factoring in its growth rate. Ang sabi ni Peter Lynch, hindi enough ang PE ratio lang para malaman ang value ng isang stock. Pwede kasing justified ang mataas na PE ratio ng stock kung mataas ang growth rate ng company. The PEG ratio improves valuation analysis by considering the company's earnings growth in addition to its PE ratio. If PE ratio is less than its growth rate, then this indicates that the stock is undervalued. Ang pagpili ng growth rate na gagamitin ay subjective. It's better to be conservative. Use the lowest past growth rate to be more conservative. Gamitin nating example ang PPC. Ang PE ratio is 6.93. Sa growth rate, gagamitin natin ay 8% kasi ito ang pinakamababa. Ang PE ratio ng PPC ay lower than its growth rate. So this indicates that PPC is undervalued. Ito ang ginagamit kong pag-calculate ng growth rate. Equity Growth Rate Calculator online ni Philtown. Makikita mo ito sa Rule 1 Investing website niya. Kinakalculate nito ang compound annual growth rate. Pwede itong gamitin sa lahat ng growth rates, not only equity, kasi same formula lang naman for all. Ito naman ang entry price calculation pag growth stock. Ang entry price ay EPS times growth rate, which is 1.46 times 8 equals 11.68. Sa growth stocks, investors are willing to pay more, kaya less conservative ang valuation method na ito. Try natin i-calculate ang entry price ng PPC using dividend play valuation. Bumaba na ang dividend yield kasi tumaas ang share price. So in this case, we will use 4% na dividend yield. Ang entry price ng PPC ay 0.4 divided by 4% equals 10 pesos. Mas conservative ang dividend play. Kaya kung conservative investor ka, then use 10 pesos as entry price for PPC. Sa pag-estimate ng entry price, kailangang gamitan ng tamang judgment and common sense. At syempre, depende kung gaano ka ka-conservative. So kung conservative investor ka, dun ka sa mas mababang entry price. Next example ay GSMI. Ang PE ratio ng GSMI is lower than its growth rate. So undervalued ang GSMI based on this. Ang gagamitin nating growth rate sa pag-calculate ng entry price ay 19% kasi ito ang lowest. Entry price ng GSMI ay 24.44 times 19 equals 464.32 pesos. Sa growth stocks, investors are willing to pay more kasi they expect the stock to grow at a faster rate than the market. Meron din akong video kung paano mag-calculate ng intrinsic value ng stock based on company fundamentals. Watch mo na lang ang video ito if you want to learn more about this method.